Hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Whiskey Wednesday. Happy Women of Whiskies Wednesday. What's everybody doing tonight? Are you all thinking about rice whiskey? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this stream for so long. Well, not for so long, since February 10th, I guess. Anyway, let's see who's here. We skipped it. Wow. There we go. Okay. You know me. You know how it goes. Let's put on the old lady glasses and see who's here. Okay. MC is here. She's already telling you guys what you can check out, where you can find the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. Thank you so much, Em. Whiskey Mountains is here, and she is tracking in the background for our wonderful giveaways at the end of the stream. So if you don't want to do a super chat and you use one of those links in the description, then make sure you tag Whiskey Mountains. Tim Cornet is here. Hi, Tim. I did get your email. Funny enough, it went out today, so you are good. Taste and Sensibility is here. Hi, Doug. How are you? It is your fault that I am in love with this whiskey so much. I'm going to tell that story later, but it's all your fault. Let's see who else. Mr. Jiggs is here. Hello, Mr. Jiggs. And Malam's here saying Whiskey Wednesday. Okay. Lil, hi, Lil. How are you? Yes, Adriana, this is going to be so cool. Tim's telling everybody smash that like button. Sean Peak is here. Denise Smith is here. Adriana's telling you how you can play, how you can get into those giveaways at the end of the stream, the mystery boxes. My friend Therese is here. Hello, darling. How are you? Okay, I'm going to go pin that comment so y'all know what to do. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to screw it up like I usually do. It's fine. So, what are you guys drinking? Good Lord. There we go. I got it. What are you guys drinking? I don't have anything poured yet because I'm waiting to drink my rice whiskey. So that's what we're doing tonight. We are talking about JT Meleck and giving away free shit because that's what we do. We have Mia who's going to join us. And let me tell you, JT Meleck, I didn't know much about it. I know that Dan and Sean have talked about, the Bourbon Junkies have talked about how much they like it. It's starting to get a name for itself, just word of mouth. And I tried it when I went down to Louisiana. I met up with Matthew Parks and Taste and Sensibility, and they had me try it, and I just fell in love. So I was so excited when Mia said she wanted to come hang out with us. So there you go. Joseph Brazo, what the hell y'all doing here? Drinking rice whiskey. What are you doing here? John Kranz is here as well. Teresa says Mia is freaking awesome. I think that, I hear that a lot from people over on your platform. They have gotten to know her a little bit, it sounds like. Mark Emmenecker is having a Moscow Mule. Slapshot's here. Daniel Lloyd rolling in saying cheers. All right. So, shall we bring Mia on? Shall we bring her in and say hello? All right, let's do it. She's got to tell you her funny story, though, about where she is and why she's there. She told me, and it just made my night because I relate completely and totally. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, we're going to get our fancy dancy. There we go. There you are. Oh, my gosh. Can you believe this?
See me.
So where are you, Mia?
Oh, I'm in my car. I was like, if anybody, I recognized some names that popped up when you were talking. So if they know me by watching my videos, I'm like 30 seconds from supposed to be logging in. And I'm like in my robe, and I realize that I have nowhere to be because my toddler is a little devil if I wake her up. And our our walls are really, really thin. So I'm like running outside. My neighbors are like looking at me, and I've got a light and my phone in my robe, running in my car because our driveway's detached. Yep, that's where I am. I'm in my car. So hopefully the light doesn't go out and it's fully charged. Otherwise, it's going to be dark.
That's okay. They would just be right on par for my stream.
Yeah.
I was telling Mia before we jumped on here, I'm like, the nice thing about my lives is that nobody even really thinks anything of it if shit goes sideways, because that's just how it rolls here.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I have a no edit rule. We rolling with it.
Oh gosh. Oh, you know what we got here? So Mia, we do a giveaway at the end of every stream. And so far, I wanted to say we got Denise Smith, who's in for 2 entries. Tim is in for 2 entries. These people are jumping in. They know. Patrick Foe is here. And yeah, Denise says you fit in perfect. And so real quick, it looks like Tim went through Venmo and he says, chance to win. Yes, chance to win. That is correct. Okay. So Teresa wants to know if you got your flat tire fixed.
No, I'm still rolling with that thing. Even though I feel like I would have way more headlights if I was in my tractor. I'd have way more lighting. So he's just talking about the other day. I actually did move that truck. I had to move it. So I was like, hey, this is a great opportunity. And so I messed with my uncle and I was like, I'm going to get lunch. See you later. And I like started to drive out the farm and he's like, get the fuck back here. Excuse my language. He's like, get back here now. And I'm like, why? I'm going to do a live video. But it's always wild.
Oh my gosh. It sounds like you got quite the life going on there.
Oh, it's never boring. That's for sure. Never boring.
Now, are you on the family farm or are you somewhere else?
Currently?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, currently I'm at my house. So we're about 15 minutes from the farm.
God, that's so close.
Yeah, it's just I live off US 90, which is parallel to I-10. So it's basically the kiss of the road that's on the other parallel.
Okay.
That makes absolutely no sense if you don't know where we are. That was terrible direction.
I just know like the main like highways that go through there.
We're basically smack in the middle of Louisiana at the bottom, South Louisiana. We're about 25 minutes outside of Lafayette. We're like a perfect distance between Lake Charles and New Orleans, except it just takes longer to get to New Orleans because of traffic of Baton Rouge and going to New Orleans. But the miles, we're smack in the middle. Like the heel, like the heel of your foot or the center, what's the thing when your foot moves up? You know what I'm talking about?
The what?
When your foot, I can move my foot right here. What is that? The center of the foot.
The center?
Somebody's got to help me out here.
Is you got the arch of the foot?
Arch, yes. Holy crap. I know my husband's watching this and be like, what is wrong with her? The arch. We're like right in the arch, right in the smack, because Louisiana's like a foot. Oh my God. I digress. Please help me.
It's awesome. I love it. Hi, the Whiskey Saints here. Hello. Everybody's telling you they're all saying arch, the arch.
They knew. I'm over here just showing my foot like it's fine. They knew. Words. I usually just insert words when I don't know the word and we just roll with it.
Yeah, I relate. You fit in perfectly here. So Mia is she's with JT Meleck. So this is like farm to glass. Mm-hmm. Like about as farm to glass as you can get.
Yep.
And I mean, this has been what, 20, you got 20 acres, right?
We have, we have 5,000 acres. John Meleck planted the first 20 acres.
Is that what it was?
Confusing. It's quite confusing. The way we didn't really think about it from that, but that's actually has been a conversation. We're going to change our labels soon. This story paints it like we only have 20 acres, but John Meleck, who we named the brand after, JT Meleck, is our great uncle who plotted the first rice crop, and he had 20 acres at the time. But we've built it 5,000. So yeah, we're much bigger than that. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Well, I was kind of wondering, but 5,000? I didn't. Wow. Holy moly.
Yeah, 5,000. We were. I don't know if we started. It's it's a crazy crawfish season, but we're the leading supplier of live crawfish in the state. We do about 3.2 million pounds of crawfish each year. Won't be this year. We're having a shortage. It's a crazy year. I hope we never have a year like this again, but in a good year. So there's always opportunities for growth. What we do for JT Meleck is about 150 acres. So that just kind of shows you where we can grow to.
So I did hear about the crawfish, but why is there a shortage this year?
A bunch of random crap. Honestly, we're trying to figure out why. So there's a lot of pieces. Mother Nature always has things to deal with it. Right now I've got a sweater on. We've had like a cold front. It keeps getting colder, which is not good for crawfish. They want to be warm. If they're cold, they go back in, your cycle starts all over. But then we get like a mass heat wave. So like about a week ago, we go from the 50s all the way to the low 80s, which makes them forces them into an early molt, which then starts your cycle over, and then it gets cold, and then they burrow down, and then it's like a complete endless cycle of them never coming up, and then they're not big, and they just weren't coming. So it was that, and just like they just didn't come. Like there really wasn't. We're experiencing the weather now, but in the beginning it was kind of like crickets, like just kind of looking around, like, okay, guess they're not coming, because at the end of the day, they're live. They come up. They decide when it is. You can replenish and make it to where there's more poundage and like help your cycle, but you can't start a season that doesn't want to be started, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So it's been a mixture of all of it. We've gone back like 30, 40 years to try to find like a season that matches, and this is an outlier. Like, no,
oh, really?
Yeah. We should be doing about 100,000 pounds a week. And we're at we just got to 45. And that was like, thank God, that's like January crawfish. We're in March. So then it's tough, because then you talk to the consumer, we're getting into Easter, and people are used to having big, hard crawfish on Easter Sunday. And now you're looking at what would be early. There's like small mediums. They're still a good size, but, they don't all make the trip. They're early crawfish. And so it's a tough season, just like the different things. And then you have market prices, which a lot of people think that farmers determine market prices, but that's actually not. We actually go by the market, whatever the market tells us we are. So it's wild. It's quite wild.
Well, you guys got your hands full down there.
Oh yeah, there's always something going on. Sometimes I had to switch my brain today. I'm like talking about rice and crawfish. And then somebody calls me like out of the blue, and I'm like, I thought it was somebody else. And then they start talking to me about vodka. And I was like, I like paused for a second, and he was like, it's me. And I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. My brain took a second to like figure out, because I thought this was something else, and talk about vodka. Like, okay, I'm with you now. Let's back up.
Yeah, you guys have rice vodka too.
Yep, we do. And it is really good. And I know vodka has a reputation. I was probably the OG person of like, yes, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I was OG because my father was a martini guy. And the concept, this all started because we were trying to add value to our rice crop. And we were going back and forth with all these different options, and nothing would stick. And we were literally in a like family meeting of like stopping this farm. Like it was done. Like, we can't continue with what it is. We can't plant. My uncle's over here going, no, we're planting. And then my father's saying, no, we're not planting. We're shutting it down. We can't afford to plant. And he's like, I'm planting, just basically the cycle. And we try to come up with other options. And somebody literally told my father to relax. Like, they were like, just chill out. Let's make a martini, maybe take your rice and make some vodka or something. And then let's make a plan. And we kind of just like, what? And he was like, that's not the point. Let's just relax and make a plan. I'm like, we were like, wait, no, what did you say? And he was like, I don't know what I said. Like, and then we went straight to the thing to like figure it out. And my father's a martini guy. He's very particular about his martinis. And so he was like, can you? And so that's where the whole spiral effect started. It was really a joke at first. Yeah, it was going to be like moonshine in the backyard. And then we never expected it to be this.
That's super cool. So Sean, peek. I see you're in for 4. Let's see what you had to say. Nothing. He said nothing. Okay, it's fine. I didn't want you to say anything. It's all right. And then I did see that Daniel Lloyd is in it to win it with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. It looks like Teresa's saying you wear 15 hats. People are talking about crawfish whiskey.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm like, no, don't worry. Like sometimes people make the jokes, and then I did have like 3 people the other week, like call or send a message. Like, I don't want this to be a stupid question, but I have to ask because I am allergic to shellfish. People are making jokes about crawfish and your whiskey and your vodka. Is there crawfish in your spirits? And I'm like, no. No, there is not.
Good.
And they're like, okay. They're like, okay, that's what I thought, but I'm highly allergic to shellfish, and I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, no, you're good.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God. So, so I was able to come across this. Someone helped me out, and I was very grateful. And I tried it tonight, and I actually even brought out a little glass so I could try some later again.
Awesome.
But I just put it in some club soda, and I haven't tried it by itself yet, so I want to do that tonight. I put it in a club soda, and it is the most unique vodka I think I've ever had. Well, I've never had rice vodka. It's like Teresa said, it's like drinking vanilla cake.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. It's not quite that sweet, but it's like if someone isn't much of a drinker, that'd be the perfect vodka to give them. It's so unique. It doesn't, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. You'll have to explain it. I can't even explain it.
We can't even really explain it. So we've kind of like titled it the rice and gravy theory. If you're like deep in Louisiana culture, and while you're in Louisiana, if you ever heard, probably not New Orleans, rice and gravy is really like a Cajun dish. I like to say there are 7 states in the state of Louisiana. We all have very different cultures just 20 minutes down the road. Different food, different cultures, how we make things. It's a very diverse culturally state. We call it anything above, like Alexandria is about an hour and a half from us. Anything above that is Lower Arkansas. We don't even say like that's like Louisiana. That's how different like we are.
Okay.
In Cajun, rice and gravy. Gravy is like, it sounds so simple. It is by far one of the best meals, like comfort foods, best, like you can screw it up, but like you never see it written down. Rice and gravy is never written down. Either your grandma entrusted you with it and verbally told you were either paying attention or you weren't, or you weren't in the club. Like you weren't the favorite grandchild and you weren't invited to go. Like it's just
I would have got that recipe.
Yes. And like you smell it. Like as soon as you're like 5 feet from somebody's house, you know that is a gravy for rice and gravy. And what that does is rice is not something where you put in your gumbo or your etouffee or things and you're like, oh my God, this is great rice. Like nobody talks about the rice, but it enhances what you already have. So if you have a bad gumbo, your rice is bad. Like the rice just enhances. If you have a great gumbo, it just absorbs all of those juices and that flavor and that gravy and just makes it such a great experience. That's what we think our rice does, because we don't manipulate our vodka at all. It's a pure spirit, which is actually very difficult to do. In one run, we get to 191 proof, and we actually fail more often than we succeed. That's why the vodka is actually way harder to make than the whiskey. The whiskey just takes longer because it ages in barrels. And to get to that, the vanillas, like the flavors that you're getting, the 191 off the still, I would drink that neat if I could handle 191 all the time. But every time it comes off the still, I'll like, our distiller will text me. I'll come over. I'll like put my finger in it. It is so good. It just like explodes in your mouth. We don't manipulate. We don't add any sugar. We don't add vanilla. A lot of people ask me that if it's manipulated, because it's just like, I drink it neat whenever I just kind of want to change things up. And it's just such an easy sipper. My husband is like the main consumer of our vodka. Like he just drinks it constantly. And it's so funny. I'll tell people when I go to whiskey events and I'll get guys, I won't even tell them. Like they'll ask, I'll have like a really exclusive single barrel. And I'm like, try this first. And they're like, what is it? I'm like, try it. And they're like, this is good. What is this? The White Dog? And I'm like, no, that's our vodka. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
So like,
I was looking, MC said it's very soft and floral, and that's true. It is. I remember saying it feels like it's got a little bit of an undertone of a floral note to it, but I'm telling you, it is so unique and well-rounded. And the only vodka I drink neat is a huckleberry vodka, but that's why I brought my glass out. I want to pour it tonight because I think I'm going to like this neat.
Oh yeah.
So taste and sensibility. He is in for 4 entries, and he said, rice donation giveaway.
Rice. Let's do it.
I think it's just so unique. I'd never even heard of rice whiskey or rice spirits, and I'm so sad that I love it so much because it's not in my state. Aaron Pierce is in it just so Daniel Lloyd doesn't win. But so now tell me, I know that you're like the 5th or 6th generation, is that right?
I'm 5th. My daughter's
5th, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like? Was it just watching it and growing up with it that you still have that passion? Because when you talk, you're so passionate about it. Like it comes out of every part of your body.
I truly can't do anything unless I really believe in it. I'm not good at faking things. Like people that know me, I can turn my husband sent me this thing. One of my friends did too, but it was like this quote, not mistaking happiness for weakness. It's a passion within you. It was a really cool quote. And that's me because I just really try. It's just when I truly believe in something, you can just see it. If I'm having a really down day, because this industry has highs and lows. And if it has lows, you probably won't see me. I won't be able to get behind a camera because I'm not good at faking it. I've tried before. And I'm like, shit, I can't do it. So it's just let's give other things. And no, I mean, I had a career as a college coach before this. So I did 12 years of college coaching. And when we started to do this, because the farm has been doing the farm, and my father's a big entrepreneur, and he's always growing things. My uncle's the main farmer, and they've always been doing. I was sweeping, I've always worked on the farm. I was sweeping when I was 7. We would come before school, after school, summers, all the way until I was 24, in summers. If you came home for family vacation or Christmas or holidays, you went to the farm and you worked.
You're working.
You're working. Yeah. So it came to the point where my mom would text you don't have to work at the farm this year. And then you'd show up for Christmas holidays. And I was like, what you doing? I'm like, is that a trick question? Are we going to the farm? Oh my God. So it got to the point I'm like, because at that point it was farming, it was farming. There was a business side of it, but I was a volleyball coach, and I've always wanted to be a college volleyball coach. And so that's where my life took me, and that's where I was. And it wasn't until the conversations for JT Meleck started in the early 2000s. It's sometimes we have to remind ourselves that while we released our whiskey, a year and a half, 2 years ago, it feels like we've been 25 years old, and the reality of your success when you think about yourself 25 years old versus 2 are very different. Mm-hmm. And so that's always hard because I remember flying down. When I would recruit and travel around, I would go to these different distilleries and ask questions and get different insight and get all these things when we were trying to figure out whether you can do with rice. What do you know with rice? I don't know. I remember going to 3 other places that would import jasmine rice, and they weren't really making a whiskey, but they were distilling with it, on the East Coast. And I would go all these things, and we were just a decade of research, And then he finally found somebody that was willing to test, because our original thing was, people will ask me so you're losing value in your rice crop. So the decision would be to buy a bunch of barrels and sit them down, not knowing whether it's going to be good. That's not a really good business move. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. It's really not. We took a huge risk. And when we
paid off though.
Yeah, it did. There's a 95% luck here. And when the vodka was the main thing, Father's Martini guy, we wanted to sell it kind of like a Bardstown thing, where we just wanted to be rice for other distilleries as a supplier of rice for them to make whiskey. Well, nobody made it. And so then there was no options. And then we had people ask to test it, and they assumed that it would gunk up their still, which, I don't blame them. It's something new. Nobody's done.
Yeah.
And so we basically had to make the decision. Okay, we called all these people and we finally found a distiller that was about to sell their still. They were going to switch their whole thing. He said, I have 2 weeks before we're shutting this thing down and switching. You can come over here and you can basically mess with the still. I'll help you out. We'll run all these things and you can figure out what you want to do. And so, because he was like, this is, if it gunks it up, I'm not using this still anymore. So it is what it is. We go up, we do about 6 or 7 recipes before made the best martini of his life. And Al was like, holy crap, like, this is good. Like, and so we ended up like taking that exact still. That's why we have the still we have, only because we made it. We did not want to dabble with what if a still changes everything, because we had no idea what we were doing. And so we were just like making moonshine for our friends. Like, that's really what it was for the first 2 years, still coaching. We would bring up, like, I would come, I would come back with like 10 cases. I would share with my friends. Like, we were just kind of making it. We would sell it. And then all of a sudden people started asking us, like, hey, do you have more of that? Do you sell it? Do you sell it? Do you have it? And then we created this, like, then we started doing labels and we made an official brand. And at the bottom, it says Providence Distilled, which is something that John Meleck had wrote in one of his journals.
Oh.
That was what we were originally going to call the distillery, but that's actually already taken. It was in New Hampshire. So we came with JT Meleck. And so then we were launched the vodka and it blew up. But at the same time, somebody said to my father when we started asking, there's no such thing. He said, what about whiskey? And somebody said to him, because I like to say it's the Frugier stubbornness. He was like, you can't make 100% rice whiskey American style. It's not possible. I was like, oh, here we go. Like, here we go. Like, what? And we had a whole meeting again. Like, we can't just buy barrels, you know, like. And so it really just came from, we basically took the rice and gravy theory, that if the vodka and the whiskey are basically the same thing, going at different proofs, and you've got a barrel, the barrel's the gravy and the rice, there's no way that it can't work. And we basically put all of our luck into these barrels and prayed and hoped. And when we tasted it, I was part-time from the beginning. And then when we tasted it at year like 2.5, 3 years, that's when he came up to me and he told me, he was like, we need to do this full time and I need you to come and do this. I'm not doing it without you. And so I basically made the decision to leave my career. It was very tough. It was very tough, but he was like, I'm only starting it if you come and you lead it. So that's kind of how it started. And then I took it over and then here we are.
Oh my gosh. So I'm going to solo this real quick. I'm going to show him this beautiful bottle. So this is the small batch, JT Meleck, with a big old crawfish on it. Isn't that cool? I absolutely love it. So, so this is 96 proof. I don't know what it goes for, like what the retail is. I didn't even look that up. I mean, I know
it's in Louisiana, you'll see it like 40 to 44. It's online for $44.99. And then Texas Pure Systems, you'll see it for like 51.
It's so good for that price point. Hold on.
It really is. I really appreciate that you say this, because we've gotten a couple of people, not like the majority, like, you know, it's always sad. The 1%, the people that kill the party, always take up all your thoughts. And that's my thing, not allowing it. And it's struggle every day. But man, that 1% that complains about the price, that it's too much. And I just want to be like, I don't say it, but I'm just like, this is one of a kind.
Yeah.
Like this is from start to finish. We do this like every single aspect is done by us. And there's no other product out there like it. It's not comparable. Like, we don't outsource, we don't buy, we don't do anything. And I just
it's amazing to me. And I'm not going to, so I could sit here and name off all the notes, but I got to tell you my favorite note about this. You ever had now and later candy?
Yes.
I get that.
Really?
Which color? Oh gosh, that's a good question.
I always love now and laters. I don't know why, because they like towards the end, they're just real a battle, but that's probably the Frugier stubbornness right there. I was like, I'm determined.
So I get it on the finish, and I think it's the light pink one.
That's a good one.
I think so. I think it's the light pink one. I'm going off memory here, though. We were talking about this earlier about how, you know, many times notes are connected to memories. And I could picture myself in middle school with this stash of now and laters.
Yes. Absolutely. Anytime we like sample or have these things, I have this whole chart. I do like a color chart. I do feelings and colors. Like the first color that kind of pops in, and the first whenever I'm kind of choosing my single barrels and putting them and choosing the samples for, I get 4 samples and I put them in kind of, I don't know if you've ever done like a disc assessment.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I put our barrels in a disc assessment, but like their personality. So when they get 4, they're getting 4 different kinds, and then you can kind of train it to where whoever they are, it matches their personality. And then I get a lot of like fun with myself to try to figure out, based on knowing this person, what barrel they're going to choose. And like
I love that.
It gets really cool. And then I keep notes, and then it helps me like make it later. But I do like this. Sometimes I'll grab a random employee and I'll put something out, and I'm like, smell it, first word, color, feeling, kids, like you're 4 years old, I don't care what it is, first thing that pops in your head, yell it out. And that's what it's like 6 of them until I get like a personality for the whiskey, like a general feeling of what it is. And it really helps, like just give it like a story.
So real quick, Patrick Foe is in for an entry, and he says, Louisiana Rice Whiskey, I love it.
Yes.
And then I know I missed someone else. Let me see. I'm sorry. I try to keep up. We got, all right, everybody. Malam did one. Are we ready for Malam? Malam's in for 4. Hold on. Are you ready for this? All right. He says, rolling the dice on the rice, southern ponds harvest thrice, pick it, mill it, mash it, yeast and still it twice. Whiskey women, drams with ice or neat is nice. Precise whiskey advice will entice your device to max suffice.
Oh my gosh. I need a beat to that.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good, Malum. Pretty good. And then I did see that Mark Eminecker with the $10 super chat says, put me in, coach.
I love it. Yes.
And then I'm just catching up a little bit here, Mia.
Good.
We've got I just saw it and lost. There we go. Mr. Great Shot is in for 4. DA Strength. This is 100% genuine Mia. What you see online is exactly who she is in real life. Aw, thanks for joining you. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome.
Wait, what was the name?
It was DA Strength.
Oh, that's my husband.
Hi, Mr. Mia.
That's Dustin. His name's Dustin. That's my
Hi,
husband.
Dustin. John T in for 4 says, wow, what an awesome guest. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you were talking, so you didn't see it, but there were so many people talking about your energy and that you can roll into your car and be this excited. And
oh, yeah. And since we were talking, like, I always got to have a drink on the go. I don't know. Oh, there's my camera. But,
yeah.
So
they were asking if you were drinking.
Raspberries, fresh raspberries. You sit them, our vodka, just like rice, absorbs things. You can infuse something in like 30 minutes. Take fresh raspberries, put it in the bottle, and you've got like raspberry vodka.
Oh my gosh.
Top it with some like Topo Chico or something. There you go. Easy peasy.
Jeb says he grabbed a pick of this last year in Dallas.
Oh yeah. Does someone say whiskey pick?
So I did ask Mia about that, by the way, guys, and she put me on the waiting list. There's a freaking waiting list. And she believed me when I said I was patient. So, but you can buy it there. We've got the link in there. MC dropped it for you guys. Daniel Sutherland, I'm late. It's the crawfish and whiskey lady from my home state.
It's me.
And Whiskey Mountains loves the idea of the raspberries and the vodka, and shit, it sounds amazing. And Teresa was saying hi to your husband. But I also get plywood on it, like dry plywood. So I've got a now and later and plywood.
Oh my gosh.
It's not in a bad way. Like, I gave this to my husband when I came back from Louisiana, and I was talking about this rice whiskey, and it was lower proof, but it was a good sipper. And and I'm like, it's like 6 years. And he's like, all right. And he poured it tonight, and he's in love.
Ah,
We've been holding off on even asking about barrels. He's like, are you going to ask her about a barrel?
added to list. You got it. It's funny that you say the pine, because I've actually had some people that will name specific woods. It's actually a funny story. There is one barrel. It was 89 that I did not come. The only barrel that I've never like sniffed, tried anything, because I walked in, was one of our employees was like, "Oh, it reminds me of cedar." And I am severely allergic to cedar. Like, will like swell up, like, so I know logically cedar is not in that whiskey.
Right, but it freaked
But
you
I was
out.
like, nope. Bye. I'm not trying that one.
So
It's all subjective in your head.
yeah, I mean, my husband's in here, and he says, I need a cast strength version in my life. So I believe I had that. Didn't I, Doug? Didn't I have that down there in Louisiana? I think I did. I think I was like mulled over by it. You guys do have the cast strength, yes?
So our single barrels are exit proof, yes, whatever they are. And then we have, in the coming weeks, we have a new SKU coming out, which is basically cast strength. So we took our lowest exit proof and we made a high proof small batch at 118. So we're launching that in a few weeks, and it basically closes the gap between those. Like, we have fans that are dedicated to the 96, and then we have those that are dedicated to single barrels due to like the proof and where it is. So I took, to not undermine the single barrels, I took the lowest proof there was, and we made a 118 high proof. It's going to be a light blue. So basically blue means high proof, and then cream means low proof.
Right.
It's super low, but 96, 118. So if you like the single barrels, the nose on this thing is so good.
Oh my gosh. Good. I'm so excited.
Yeah. We're going to be launching in Louisiana in a few weeks. So, yeah. Get your
Doug, did you hear that?
Okay.
Doug, did you hear that? They're going to launch it in a few weeks. Did you hear that? Matthew Parks, did you hear that? I'm just saying.
We have an app that you can download on the Apple Store and Google Play, and I'm going to I send out push notifications of updates around, and you can get on that. So.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Got it. Okay, because I'm going to do that. So, we were talking about like your raspberries and your vodka. I have a question for you, because I know you guys have been hearing me talk about it, but I'm here to tell you guys now, Adriana, Whiskey Mountains, is going to be with me when we do our first relaunch of Criminals and Cocktails. So we'll take our true crime, we'll talk through it with you guys live while we make a cocktail. We've been kicking around different cases. I don't know exactly when, but I know we are starting the research. And I don't know if I can commit to doing it monthly again, but I do want to do the pop-ups. I miss it. It was my passion. So my question to you, Mia, is what's your favorite cocktail?
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to say, what was my favorite true crime? I was like,
oh, that too.
Oh my gosh. I'm totally watching this. I love true crime. I get all into it. I digress. So my favorite with our vodka is depending on the mood.
Yeah.
So there's like a raspberry spritz if I'm feeling like making a cocktail. So you take fresh raspberries. I put it in our vodka, like a whole half container, or they have the full like this, and then or maybe that's a whole for somebody. But
I'm writing it down.
That in, I kind of muddle it a little bit, throw all that in, let that sit for 30, 45 minutes. Then I take fresh raspberries at the bottom, I muddle it, put ice on top. You take 2 ounces of the now raspberry vodka. You take just a little bit of simple syrup, and that's depending on whether you want the sweetness or not. That's completely, because our vodka is already a naturally sweetness, so it doesn't really need it. But I do that, any sparkling water like Topo Chico, put that on top, and a squeeze of lime, and it is so good. And then you can batch it. So anytime I go anywhere, I'll batch that up and I'll bring it and I'll just hook it and people can just drink it really easily. That is so good. For a kind of summer, great weather thing. But I love our vodka and an espresso martini. like a,
Really?
it's more of like a cold brew. If you get like a cold brew liqueur in there versus like a coffee, even though coffee's still really good, but like a creamy, adding that in, just I kind of play with it. It is so good in a espresso cold brew martini.
Okay. So what's going to happen, because I was trying to write it down and I just can't because I'm listening to it and getting excited.
Sorry,
I'm going to message you and you're going to have to send me the recipe.
Yeah.
And then, guys, if I can get her to give me that recipe again, I will come back and put it in the comments of this video. So, or maybe I'll just throw it out to patrons, one or both. I don't know. But so I like to take vodka and make mojitos based on vodka. And I think this would make an amazing mojito because it's got that little bit of sweetness to it without being too sweet. And I think it'd go great with the mint.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, oh, that was a good pop. I'm going to try this vodka now without ice or anything because I really want to taste it. So Whiskey Mountains is talking about how she's already got a great case for us to do. We talked about it a little bit. I'm super stoked. I've been writing down cases for the last like 6 months, but we used to do it monthly, Mia. And, you don't want to screw up anything because you could hurt the families of the victims. You could hurt the families of the person. And it just, you know what? I think if I'm going to do it right, I can't have a set time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this is a neat drinking vodka.
It's being enjoyed.
There's no burn at all. No burn.
Nope.
God.
Whenever I put it in the freezer, people think I'm messing with them and I give them water. Like the colder it gets, the more, which is like, the car temperature test. Like I can pull it out of the back of my car and someone can try it and it's good. But you put it in a freezer and people are like, is this water? I'm like, no, but it tastes like
it's dangerous. It's even at 80 proof. It's dangerous because I could drink a half a bottle of that.
Yes, it is so good. I'll put it in the Glen sometimes if I'm just kind of like want to change up from whiskey.
Yeah. Scott Smith, $20 super chat. Thank you. Says love to hear the pop on new bottles. Me too.
Good one.
Whiskey Mountain says she's never really had a sipping vodka, but now I'm curious. So Adriana, when you guys come down, I'm hoping you're coming down before the Alzheimer fundraiser, but when you come down, we're going to break out all the JT Melecks and we're just going to sit down and drink them. And I mean, because you're my friend, you might end up with a little package on your doorstep too. Who knows? So, but it's definitely a sipping vodka. I've never actually had a vodka that I could sit here and sip on. I always get that ethanol burn that comes with it.
It is wild once you like dive into the industry and like learn, like us being suppliers. I mean, we joke like if we knew the things we knew, we may have not done it. So it's good that we are ignorant is bliss, And it's like vodka is probably one of the most wild spirits, in my opinion, because if you take whiskey and you take all the branches of whiskey, it is highly like legalized. What I mean by that, every aspect of it, like in order to be a bourbon, there are stipulations.
It's just categorized.
If you're not, you're something else. Like there's no middle ground. There's no like, oh, it's kind of 51%. It is or it's not, And with vodka, there are rules, but no, they're not followed. And there's no law saying you have to follow them. And so when you get, this is what vodka is when it follows like the same purity and the same process and the same good components that a whiskey does. And it's so wild to think like, because when you get that ethanol, that's like stripping tails. You're getting things in the bottle that should have gone out the still. It's because vodka had this reputation during like prohibition and all these things that we're adapting from is like fast, cheap, get it out there, as many bottles. So it's cheap, either doesn't have a flavor. It's supposed to be like burning down your throat and that's okay. And I'm like, when we made this, I'm like, damn. And I'm like, that's why other countries have totally capitalized on like, when you go to other places, they don't have the same it doesn't have the same reputation as we do here of like vodka. They're like, oh, vodka? They'll just,
God, it's
they
so
drink
good.
it because it's way different.
It's so, I mean, I really am so glad I only poured a little bit, because I would just be sitting here doing that hand to mouth motion, not even thinking about it.
It's
Because,
so
yeah,
uncomfortable in my car here.
I know, I feel so bad for you.
Oh no, you're good.
William
This-
Davilar,
I will take this all day than waking up the little devil over there.
you never wake
her
up a
sleeping.
sleeping child, ever,
We're
ever.
not, my husband wouldn't even let me attempt to try to talk in the living room. I'm way too loud. He's like, no, go outside to your car, get out.
That's awesome. Speaking of husbands, my husband, William Davilar, says 4 entries for Tim Cornet. Happy birthday, bud. Yay. Which, by the way, Tim Cornet, I did see your comment, and you know what? Absolutely. I met you at Pours, and you made me cry in a good way. And I absolutely think you're amazing. Okay, so Mr. Great Shot just got the app, and I can get this whiskey and vodka here in Austin. Guess I'll be picking up some soon. I did hear you're in Texas now.
We are, yes. The pull through, tell everybody. Cause we got into so right off the bat, we got into Longhorns, Totals, Tejas. There's a couple of like independents, but there's like 3 major chains that apparently, I don't know this. This is what my distributor told me, that they were shocked that right off the bat, before even introducing the brand, these chains brought us in, which if anybody knows anything about distribution, it usually takes months to get into chain accounts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I walked in and I got in front of Specs is also a family company. So I don't know if I took the meeting a little differently or whatnot, but they basically told me, like, I asked for a meeting in front. I wanted to get in front. And they told me that they wouldn't take it. Like, my distributor's like very honest. Like, this is a powerhouse. Yeah. They got over 200 stores. They've got every spirit out there. You're just a small store. You got to make your statement in Texas before they start calling you. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to take no for an answer.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think I see that in you, Mia. I think I see that.
I hope so. And so we are now in 60 stores, all 3 of our SKUs, and we got single barrels heading over there soon. So I am like, but now it's the pull through. So that's why I try to train all my videos. Like, I can't really specifically say like what they like the places to go, but like the pull through, thank you so much. And tell everybody, because that's what makes our brand successful. If chains will bring you in, but the minute it stays on the shelf too long, they'll cut your brand and never bring you in again.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act of, like, you know, sometimes it takes a little while for the whole state of Texas, that's bigger than my state times 16, to figure out like, oh, hey, we're here. And so, like, thank you very much for going there and telling your friends. I appreciate that.
Well, and the one thing, it's like, selfishly, people like me are like, shh, don't let everyone know how good this is, because I already have trouble getting it. But then I taste it and I'm like, God, you know, like I said, we were talking about it before we went live. It's like, it's all about sharing, right? Mm-hmm. And it's very rare. Like, people see me get excited about certain brands, right? There was a small craft distillery over in Portland, Oregon, that was founded by 2 women, and I talked about them in every one of my streams. And, you know, and then about a few months later, I tasted something else, and I was like, that's amazing. But this is one of the first ones that like hit me in a whole different way. It is the most unique experience. And now that I've had the vodka, I just can't wait to see what you guys are throwing out in 10 years. I'm so excited.
I'm excited. Honestly, I wish we could just like get it together as like a federal liquor thing and just allow suppliers to have one distributor throughout the country.
Agreed.
It's funny because, you know, if I can just like pinpoint little dots across the country, we're always so active in like actively every day in like 42 states. That's what my digital like data is showing. In 42 states, people are active daily. And I'm like, if only I could go and put a case in those stores, you know, each day. Mm-hmm. And instead, like, we have people in Texas, but it doesn't mean the whole state of Texas knows who we are or even cares, and I don't blame them. It's so big, but I'm like, but there are people over here, but I can't legally do a whole distribution to go to one store. And it's so upset. I'm like, why can't I be direct to consumer?
Right? Yeah. So
Please.
like Patrick Foe says, end the tier system. Yeah. I mean, let me tell you, Mia, you are preaching to the choir because I live in a state run, an ABC state. So all the liquor stores are state run, it's state regulated. Do you know what it was? Well, you know what it was like for me to do a barrel pick from Idaho? Let me tell you. But so if we see it, it's MSRP. They can't raise it. But
Yeah.
half the time we don't see it. And if it is here, they may get like a couple cases for the whole freaking state.
Yeah.
So Thrasher with a $10 super chat says, where does Mia get her favorite beignets from?
That's a good question. So there is a place outside of it's in New Orleans, but it's not New Orleans, if that makes sense. Like it's in between New Orleans and Metairie.
Okay.
And, it's a little mom and pop store. I know how to get there. Like I can visually think. I went to school there. I can do the things, and I don't even think it really has a name. It's just like out of the back, like her back kitchen. And it's like grandma's recipe. And you would go there and they only had a certain amount in the morning. Like if you didn't get there before 9 a.m., even 9 a.m. was cutting it close. You had to get there at like 6 a.m. to get these fresh beignets. And you can't go back. Same thing with po' boys. There's a place that's off the riverbank. I know how to get there. But it's this guy. He comes in, he smokes on his thing, he cooks all this stuff. He pops open his shed, his home shed, and you pull in. And that alligator po' boy is like, I don't know where he gets his bread. He'll never share
alligator.
it. And
alligator po' boy.
Oh, alligator's so good.
I've had alligator, but I've never had an alligator po' boy.
Yeah, it's like a grilled alligator sausage on a po' boy.
Oh, I love alligator sausage.
Yeah, the bread, like the French bread that we have here, is like that's what makes that's why, like, because I've had people ask, like, how do you eat a sandwich that just has lettuce, tomato, and mayo? And I'm like, because the bread, bread makes everything. The bread just like melts in your mouth.
Bread
like,
makes everything.
Oh my God, so good. We're my husband and I we're going to New Orleans tomorrow for the New Orleans Bourbon Festival.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I want to go to that.
I'm already mapping out where we're going to go eat and stuff. Like, we're just making it a whole weekend. I'm
so jealous. I can't wait to go back to New Orleans when it's not Mardi Gras. Take my husband and just eat and listen to music and eat meat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole different experience outside of Mardi Gras, for sure.
So I'm curious. Don't laugh at me. I'm curious, like, so you started with the vodka, right? And people were worried about the rice gumming up the stills.
Uh-huh.
Does it?
Nope.
Okay. Nope. I mean, I assumed no, but then I was like, was there like, did it at first and then it was trial and error, or?
I think it just really comes from like lack of education. And I don't mean that people don't know what rice is. Like, that's not what I mean. But when you think about rice, you think about like sushi and sticky rice and sticks to your fingers and it comes all like this. But that's not, like, there are different also levels. Also, rice right out of a field can't be like, we would never put that. We debated it one time because it saves the process, because the whole reason that we were adding value to our rice is because the monopoly on a mill. So your rice has to be milled. So the mill buys your rice and they determine the value of your crop. Regardless of what it's actually valued at, they pay you a fee, and it doesn't matter whether it's low or bad in the way that the market was working. And so we were trying to avoid the mill. It's a patented product. You can't like just buy one and do it. It's a whole, if anyone's seen a mill in the South, this is like massive. Like, this is bigger than an airplane or something. It's not something that you just put on your farm. And so we debated that, but the husk pieces of it, the whole, like when you pass a rice field, that would probably get all kind of tangled in, like all around.
Yeah.
You'd have to scrub out your fermenter tank every single time. Ours is just husked. So it comes back looking like basically like you would get in a bag at the grocery store. It's the same concept. So our rice is special, like what we do with JT Meleck. We have a lot of different types of rice across our 5,000 acres, but JT Meleck is a special rice that we don't talk about. We don't give out what it is. We played around with like 15, 20 different types, played around. It's actually the opposite of, we have a guy, I digress, always into other stories, but there's another guy 15 minutes from us that at relatively the same time, he was making diabetic rice, which is basically the opposite. When you take sugar, you have to have sugar, a high sugar grain, in order to make alcohol.
Right.
Rice has never been seen as a sugar forward grain. Ironically, those with diabetes cannot eat rice. So people think of rice as a sugar forward grain. But the sugars that you think of, like a tablespoon of sugar and in the ground dirt sugar, are completely different. And it's actually
Okay.
So he wanted to remove every aspect of sugar so diabetics could eat it. And we wanted to enhance like how it grows. We wanted to enhance the aspects of it creating natural sugars so that it could create alcohol. Because we thought that at the end of the day, it wasn't a sugar forward. We don't want to add things to our mash, which means that people weren't trying it because they weren't farmers. At the end of the day, the original whiskey, those that made whiskey, was because their crop was going bad. They were the actual farmers who understood their crop. We took the same concept. We took our rice. We didn't want it to go bad, but we knew in order to make our crop, it had to be something that made something else, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
And so that's it. It does not gunk it up, is the long story to the question.
No.
I love
that you talk like me.
all my Dustin says, like, my husband, any question I have, I'm like, he's like, how'd your day go? I'm like, let's start this morning when I went to Walmart. So he's like, Walmart? I'm like, yeah, I have a point here.
My husband says to me, I'll be like, I already told you that. You weren't listening. He says, but you're talking all the time. You say a lot of things.
Oh my God, I never related to something more. Like, I understand that, but what I just said was the most important thing.
So Daniel Sutherland says, the best guest ever. So much knowledge combined with great personality and passion.
Oh, thank you.
I told a couple of people that you were coming on, and they're like, oh my God, you're going to love her. What you see in like her social media, that's her. You guys are going to get along great.
I love that.
Oh. And Teresa says, Mia, my lava lamp from Ed should be here soon.
Yeah. Did you get my lava lamp? I can't see her. She's saying. I sent you a lava lamp. Well, not a lava lamp. It's like a baby lamp.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I am curious because it's so unique. Have you made cocktails with the small batch?
Me personally, no.
I don't know that I would. I really like this neat.
I just drink everything neat. Like the vodka is really the only thing I'll play around with based on my mood. But I also, like, in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I would love to make blah, 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 blah. And then I get home after a long day and I'm like, the only energy I have is
I'm lucky if I get it in the glass.
That's it. And so, but there is at a local restaurant in Lafayette, they make a paper airplane. That's what the drink is called.
Yeah.
And it's basically a twist on a Manhattan with a little bit of extra stuff. Delicious. Like, and then there's another restaurant that makes a peach old fashioned, and it sounds like it would, like, if you don't like peaches, I'm okay with peaches, but you have this idea of what it tastes like. Let me tell you, it's nothing. Like nothing. It's not peach at all. It's like these, I don't even know, but like we went, it was like 6 of us went out on like just kind of like a quarter of a bunch of people in the industry were just hanging out. Like, let's refresh, let's go. By the end of it, I'm like, how many of these have we had? They're so good. I'm like, what? I like called the bartender. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Delicious. I was like, call me a cab or Uber. They don't have cabs anymore, do they? Call me an Uber because that
don't have cabs anymore.
Oh yeah, it mixes really well. I just don't make it at home. I just know.
Well, so every now and then I have certain whiskeys, like, well, I have two whiskeys that I don't drink neat at all. I don't like them neat. I don't like them in a cocktail, but I love them on a rock. Love them on a rock. And so at first because I was doing the vodka, I wanted to taste that before. And I'm like, I should put this on a rock. And then I'm like, you know what? No, I can't. I just can't bring myself to do it because I'm worried it's going to, I just really like it like this. I really like it like this.
Yeah, I do. You know what I've done with, it's another interesting thing getting out to this. Cause I had the same thing. I used to be like a Scotch person before we started doing this. I haven't had Scotch in years, but I always had the same thing. I had certain brands that I wanted on the rocks. I had certain brands that I wanted to eat. I had certain brands that I eat in a cocktail until I realized like how it all works. And now I'll manipulate bottles. So if I find myself unsure about it neat and I try it on the rocks, I have this little device and I'll put my thing in it and figure out the proof. And then I bring water until I get to the proof and I remake the bottle into the proof. And so then I have a neat whiskey at the proof. So if it's like 100 and I like it at 90, I remake it. I know that's like not saying everybody could do that, but like I use my JT Miller.
Wow.
And I remake the bottle. All it is adding water. As long as it's pure water and you're comfortable with your water, that's all it is. And so that's what I do to make it like more.
That's crazy.
To make it easy. Because again, skipping steps. Not always wanting to grab the rocks glasses.
Jake, I just want to, what'd I miss? I just want to know what I miss. The Drew Estate reveal, the new cigar last week. What'd I miss? Okay. Sorry. See, it's not just you, it's me. I'm listening. I'm thinking all the thoughts that I want to say, and then something else happens, and yeah, it's a thing. So there was something I really wanted to say, and I got distracted. I don't know what it was.
I'm glad I'm not the only one because I did something the other day, and I was, when you're just deep into a story, you're like 4 minutes into this thing, and you're getting to the piece, and you cannot remember what you were talking about.
Right, and you were so excited.
You try so hard to fake it, and eventually you have to be like, I have no idea what I was just talking about. None. I can't even fake it. I have no idea. And this just is awkward silence. Like, anybody else want to
talk? I did want to say I missed up here. Lil did a $10 super chat. Lil says, "Love Mia's knowledge and enthusiasm."
Thank you.
So I gotta say this. It's all pretty clear. One thing about me and whiskey, and people that watch my channel know, I will never trash a distillery. But I will, if it's something that I don't like, I will say, this is not my jam. So if I'm in here saying I love a whiskey, everybody knows I love the whiskey. But then, like within 3 minutes of talking to you before the stream, I'm like, all right, I love the family too. It's fine. I just relate. I will say we are at the top of the hour. Are you buffering? There you go. We're at the top of the hour, guys. So I'm going to give you guys 5 more minutes before we cut this giveaway off. Doesn't mean we're not going to sit here and chat with Mia, but 5 more minutes, we're going to cut off the giveaway and give away free shit. So last chance.
Can y'all still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I connected to my car because I was running out of battery. So just making sure.
Oh, gosh.
I have a built-in charger in the car. So there's really great things about being in a car.
I've got like Wi-Fi in my car and stuff, but my car's smarter than me, so I don't know how to use it. It's fine. And then I was looking, what was it? There was something I wanted to ask you about. Okay. Oh yeah. So you just got into Texas. You're super excited. If you could only pick one state that you could go into this year, what would it be?
Oh, that's tough. I feel like I have people that this is going to come back and haunt me. They're like, you didn't choose our state.
Well, I mean, you have to look at, you're a smart girl. You got to look at a few different things. You want to give it to everybody, but you got to look at, all that.
I would say just based on data and other things that I already have like in pieces, it would be Indiana.
Okay. That makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of our things like pin from there. And we have a lot of people that travel over. Ohio would be one that I would if it wasn't so difficult to get into. Now, my wish list where I would go, like where I would go next in a heartbeat would be the Carolinas.
Yeah,
But that is very, very difficult.
why Carolinas?
Sorry.
Why Carolinas?
We have a lot of people that will travel out of the Carolinas to go other places to get it. So
Okay.
like we got a lot of people there just in terms of the ABC and right, it's ABC. I always feel like I'm doing the alphabet when I say that.
It's ABC. Yeah, that's us.
the sh-
It's Teresa's in ABC. I'm in ABC. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure that data changes every day because every single time somebody shares it with their friend and then it moves forward.
But I could see the Carolinas being a thing if I didn't realize they were ABC.
Yeah, the especially is it one of them's even worse than the other. I think it's North Carolina might be worse. Like they're one of the like really hard. Like
Okay.
oh, from what I'm understanding, like Indiana is basically knock on the door and come in. Like you want to come in? Come on over here. Like Texas took me 2 years to get into Texas. It was like a whole thing. And also a distributor has to want you. Like so
They do.
a lot of people a lot of people think that I just want to say I want to be in a state. And I'm like, I do want to be in the state. Doesn't mean people want me to be in the state. So I'm like, you got a distributor contact because I'll talk to them because I'd love to. And yeah, it took 2 years. The Carolinas is like extremely difficult monitoring. Then you have Ohio that you sell to like it's like government oriented, but then it's MSRP. So once you're in, and this is what I'm told, once you're in, but like Georgia is a franchise state. So you sign your soul. Like once you sign, you do not control anything in that state. So like every state is so different on like pros and cons in terms of like being craft and what it is and where we can go. But yeah, Indiana has been a top of my list for a while. It'll probably be one of the first ones we go into when we're able to go into another state. But yeah.
So, they're saying North Carolina is ABC, but not South Carolina, is what Chad is saying. Taste and Sensibility is in for 4 entries for Whiskey Mountains. He has donated it to Whiskey Mountains, and I think that's super cool. Teresa is also in for 4, and she just threw up a raffle ticket emoji. So there you go. You know what time it is, guys? Do you know what time it is? It's puppy time. It's Ellie time. We have a rule on the channel here at the end of the show, or not before we do the giveaway. If the dog yawns, everybody has to have a drink. Now, luckily, Mustard's not here because Mustard is the yawner. But Ellie did do her job last week. So let's see. Hi, baby dog. Come here. Oh, you're so comfy on your blankie, aren't you? Yeah. I know. Goodness. I know. Okay. This is Ellie. Hi. So, I'm sorry. I'm not holding you like a baby. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
So Ellie is 4 pounds of fury. She's spoiled rotten and a little bratty.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. We have like big old dogs. They're outside. I'm trying to picture. I feel like one of them would definitely get into our arms like that.
Yeah, so she was raised with a boxer her first couple years of her life. So she thought she was going to grow up and be a boxer.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Poor baby never grew up.
She didn't. She never grew up. But she's spoiled rotten. She's my dog, but she's really my husband's dog. So,
oh yeah.
All right. Oh, there's Leon. I knew it was coming, everybody. I'm going to have a little bit of JT Meleck Rice Whiskey.
Yes.
I think I'm going to need more. I ran out. Ellie is ridiculous. Whiskey Mountain says, I understand that feeling, Ellie. She keeps waiting to grow up too. Yeah, me and you both, Adriana. So what do you have? You told us about the release that's coming out, and I'm super excited about that. What is coming down the pipeline that we don't know about?
the other fun thing is we're supposed to have a 6-year after the summer. So we put down our first barrel in April of 2018. So we are
Okay.
going to have a 6-year, very limited release. We try to reserve 30% of what we do each year, but you'll see a dramatic increase. Right now we're still in, like, we're gaining great popularity for what we're doing. I'm like really excited about it, but we are still in year 2, which is still the time when people said we couldn't make rice whiskey. So we are still using the original barrels where we were just like praying to God that these were going to be okay. So it's not until we go another 6 to 8 months before we start seeing the barrels, like the huge incline. Now it's huge for us.
Yeah.
Everything we do is start to finish. We don't have any, we don't take loans out. We don't have any investors. There's no like up tier. There's no big brand that owns us. It's just our family doing things on the farm. 1 minute we're in a tractor. The next minute we're over here. We're doing everything from start to finish. And so for us, there's a huge dramatic from 6 to 8 months. And so that'll be next year. I'll be able to go to more states. We'll be able to see more things. But the biggest thing is in the next few weeks, we're doing that high proof. And then we are a 6-year at the end of this year. Depending on, it's just a launch. They'll be ready in April, but we'll probably let them go through a summer.
So when you said that, it totally clicked that earlier I was thinking of that. And I said, this is a 4-year. Does not taste that young. There's the other yawn, by the way, just saying. And Scott Smith says 6-year with 30% holdback. Great strategy. Scott lives about.
Thank you, Scott.
Scott lives about 3 country blocks up the road from me. Him and his lovely wife, Denise, their winery is up there.
Oh, I like that.
2 yawns. Yeah. And so I love the fact that I can, if I had to, I could crawl home, but I don't. So
you always love that.
They're pretty long blocks. I might need a golf cart. It's fine.
We all need golf carts. I definitely want a golf cart.
Right. Well, everybody in my neighborhood, they all have those, what are they called? Like mules or what are side by sides? Is that right?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
we call
I don't
everything
know
different.
What they're called.
We call everything
like
different.
ATV thingies. Scott, you know what they're called. You'll have to tell me what they're called. Huh?
4-wheelers?
Not 4-wheelers, but similar. I think they call them side by sides or
I've heard that name. I'm just not sure what it is.
But they're meant to go over terrain, and they either have 2 seats or 4 seats. And I'm like, maybe I need that versus the golf cart.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Yes. Yep.
Scott's laughing at me. Oh, Denise says they're called side by sides. Okay. And so Teresa says side by side too. Okay. Side by side.
I think we call those gators here.
Yes. And I've called them razors. Denise said they're also called razors. So, all right. Yeah. I think gator is the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's time to do our giveaway. Should we give away free shit?
Absolutely.
All right.
We love
Adriana, where are we with our numbers? Everybody, the mystery boxes is closed. We're going to pick 2 winners. Following this, there's going to be a short live stream for patrons. If you are tier $4 and up, you have a link that dropped about 14 minutes ago. So we'll meet over there and we'll do a little quick chat and play some Patreon Plinko. So anybody who is a patron by then will get that link. Mia, if you're interested, I'm happy to drop you the link to that if you'd like to join us. But I also know it's very late where you are, so that's fine too. So, okay. So let me know. I'll send it to you if I need to.
Thank you. I probably will pass since it's almost midnight here.
It's freaking late. I know. It's freaking late. 59 entries, everybody. Okay. Hi, Z-Man. How are you? Cheers. 59 entries. Okay. Mia, pick a number between 1 and 59.
9.
9 is the number.
9's my lucky number.
Is it?
Yeah, that's my favorite number. So I always go with 9.
Is there a story behind it, or you just always felt drawn to 9?
I always felt drawn to 9. Yeah. No story.
Yeah.
Just ever since I was a kid, I always wanted the jersey 9 or any sports I played 9, and 9's always been my favorite number.
You know, I find that my kids all played sports, and it seemed like they wanted the same number every year, and that's still their number to this day. Scott Smith gets to play mystery box. Pick it or pass it. Remember, you get to pick a box. If you like what's in it, you can keep it. If not, you get one more chance. So we'll do Scott and then one more. Scott, let me know which of these boxes we're going to open up. He says, what? All right. Come on, Scott. Let me know. For fun, Mia pick. Oh, Mia, pick 1 through 6.
3.
All right, here we go.
No pressure.
No pressure. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Scott. Oh, my. You can pick this or you can pass it, but you just won the Women of Whiskey's leggings. Women of Whiskey's leggings, sir. So you can try one more time if you think there's something better than these leggings.
Oh,
or
I thought they would look real nice on you, Scott.
Or I can bring these up to the winery this weekend and you can do a fashion show. You decide. Women of Whiskey's leggings. Not that pair because they're dirty from the box, but a different pair. Let me know if you want to try again. Sean Peak, I love it. He's using his emojis because he's a subscribing member, and it says leggings emojis. Everybody's happy. They're like, woohoo. Scott says, oh, snap. I'm taking them. Nice. All right, Scott, those are yours. I will bring them up this weekend. You won't even be there this weekend now that I think about it. All right. Well, Adriana, you know what that means. We got to pick one more winner. Scott took leggings, so sorry, guys. What's our numbers now? Malam says, they will make picking grapes oh so pleasant. Oh, his wife, Denise, says, can't wait to have them model them for me. Oh, goodness. 55 entries. All right, Mia, 1 through 55. Which one are we going to do now?
17.
17, Adriana, 17. Oh, my goodness. You seem really hot. I'm going to take her out of her blankie real quick. She's going to shake because she's not in her blanket and she gets nervous. But yes, Mr. Great Shot, you did miss out on the leggings. And Scott Smith says, this will go great with my beanie hat. Yes. It will.
The ultimate prize. I like it.
Of course, Malam says photo or it didn't happen. Okay. Okay, congratulations to the birthday boy. Tim Corney wins thanks to William Davilar's donated entries. Tim, pick a box. 1 through 6, but probably don't pick 3 because it's already been 1. So, all right, let's do it. Let's pick a box to give away something else that's free. Why are you shaking? Because you're not being held like a baby? Okay, I'm sorry. He says, wow, go ahead, Mia, pick again.
Oh my gosh, I might get you like tighter leggings. Maybe some booty shorts.
Booty shorts.
Booty shorts are in 6 for sure. I'm feeling they're in 6.
We actually had booty shorts for a while. They're coming back this summer. All right. You said number what?
6.
All right, let's do it.
I didn't mean to count by 3s, but it happened that way.
It happens. All right, let's see what's in 6, guys. Are you ready? Tim, good luck. If you think there's something better, you can pick again. Dun, 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 dun. This is the Women of Whiskey's Glencairn. So you can take this glass, the Women of Whiskey's glass, or if you think there's something better, you get one more shot. You can give it a go. We'll draw again. It's fine. Everybody's very excited about the booty shorts, by the way. I'm looking at that. They're very excited. All right. Let us know if you want to keep that or if you want to try one more time. Adriana, thank you so much for tracking. By the way, guys, Adriana has a channel called Whiskey Mountains. Go check out some of her content. She does these gorgeous hikes and does whiskey reviews up in the mountains. So Whiskey Mountains, check her out. Okay, Tim Corney says, Mia, one more time. What the heck?
Let's go with 2.
All right. This is what you're stuck with, whatever it is. Dun, 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 dun. It is a sample pack of my choosing.
Hey!
This may include some of the stuff that we're drinking tonight. So congratulations. That will be delivered to your home in one form or another. So keep an eye out for that. Anybody who wins tonight, by the way, email womenofwhiskies@gmail.com with all your contact information. He's excited about it. Should we see what we didn't give away? What's going back in the bunker for another time? Let's check out number 1. Dun, 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 dun. It's a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. And it is 129.3. That's going back in the bunker for another time. Over here, we've got a barrel strength.
Did I pick all the non-alcohol?
It's going back in the bunker for another day.
Is this next one's a bottle?
We have.
Oh my gosh, y'all should never let me pick again. How did I pick the non-alcohol?
Over here we have a flight board. For those of you that saw my pop-up live stream at Koenig Distillery over the weekend, this came from there. Huh?
I thought that was a bottle.
No, this is a flight board.
That's
that comes from their barrels out there at Koenig. So these are all going back in the bunker for another time. Congratulations to all the winners. You know, I like to give it all away. Now, if you're a patron and we're going to go play Patreon Plinko, our bottle of the day for Patreon Plinko, plus all the other stuff, this is going to be a Rebel pick from 2022. It is the Rebel Distillers Collection. That's going to be our bottle of the day. So, yeah. Oh, goodness. Mia, this was so much fun. From your car, your battery's probably almost dead. Your husband's going to have to jump your car. It's going to be a whole thing, and it's going to be all my fault.
No, you're good. I'm just going to stay home today then.
Right. Whiskey Mountains, Adriana, she is the best thing ever. She sits in the background. She tracks all these giveaways. Why? Because she's amazing. She also is saving the world with all her research to cure Alzheimer's. So that's Whiskey Mountains. She says, absolutely crush it tonight, Mia. Thank you so much for coming on. Very excited to try this when I visit the Davilars again.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me, y'all.
What I got from this stream was that not only did, God, it's just such good, I want to say good whiskey, but that vodka, it's good spirits. That is such good spirits. And then they're very blessed that you are part of the family because you are so passionate and so knowledgeable, and pretty much it takes a certain kind of person that can deal with my quirks. So it's fine. I'm hearing a lot of thanks, Mia. Please come back again. Great live stream. Thank you, Michelle and Mia. Thanks, Mia. Looking forward to getting some of y'all's whiskey and vodka. There's so much love going on in this chat. Thank you guys very much.
Thank y'all.
Mia, I appreciate the fact that I know that we talked about this for a minute. I'm so glad that you were like, of course, let's do this. I am going to reach out because I do want some of those recipes. And also, I'd like to find out the best way that I can, when I find something I love, I want to know the best way I can promote you and your brand. Because it's that freaking good.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to take us out. The one thing I want to say, as always, remember, me and Mia were talking about this. There's no wrong way to do this shit. You drink what you want. You drink it how you want to drink it, and you share it with your friends, and you make some memories. And that is what it is all about. So,
absolutely.
Cheers, everybody. I will see you next week.
Cheers, y'all. Thank you.